Oh, Mr. Henry Lane, please. Hello?
Lane?
Yes?
It's Elsa.
Can you be at the corner of Santos and Imal Street at 11:30?
Yes?
I'll pick you up there, okay?
Right.
Will you fix your contact?
Yes.
Right. Police headquarters, Major Labat.
Hello?
Labat?
Yes?
You want a man called Lane? You'll find him at a very interesting film boxing at the corner of Santos and Imal Street at 11:30.
Who is that? Hello? Who's speaking, please? Hello? Hello?
As London would say, stage one.
I'd like to have a word with you, Mr. Lang.
Look at me. Who the hell are you?
The police.
The police?
Yes?
I'm from the Foreign Office, Mrs. Lane. Could I have a word with you?
Foreign Office?
It's about your husband.
Henry? Well, has anything happened? Is he all right?
Yes. Yes, he's all right, we think. He's been arrested.
He's a British subject, Major Labat. I have the right to. Sorry, you have that the wrong way around. He has the right to see you. He doesn't want to. How can I be sure?
I mean,
I know what you mean. I'm sorry. He's asked me not to let you see.
Why?
I'll ask him that.
Well, then tell me what he's done.
Oh, man.
Well, why has he been arrested?
Not even.
But I have the right.
You don't.
Well, not in law.
Not at all.
In England, if we were
You
in
send
reverse
people to
position,
prison
we-
without saying why.
No, look, just some idea.
Tell his wife what you already know. He has no other family.
Well, I don't know anything,
Well, you don't know much. Well, he's here. He's under arrest, pending investigations. He's well, and he doesn't want to see anyone, particularly you.
do you? Me?
You. What he called stupid bureaucrats from the British consulate. I think that is easy to do.
This way, Mrs. Lane.
I still don't understand. He's not in Russia. Surely he's got the right to see the British consul.
We are doing our best, but all they have to do is to go on saying he doesn't want to see us.
But it's ridiculous.
Something might have developed.
What did you say his name was?
Kelly. Mr. Anthony Kelly.
Kelly. Terrible name. Mr. Kelly. Who is he?
Well, he's what they call a coordinator. And they deal with that kind of trouble. Nationals being arrested abroad. Anything to do with security.
Security? Isn't that spies and things?
Well, no, not exactly spies. Mr. Kelly's in charge of the European bit.
Is Amaria in Europe? I thought it was in Asia.
No, Europe. Only just, mind you, but it's still Europe.
Oh, I see.
Ah. Here we are.
Then. She's here, sir. Okay. Mrs. Lane? This is Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. Well, now, Hughes has probably told you what this is all about, has he?
He's not told me very much. Just that Henry's been arrested and they won't let anyone see him. He said he didn't know why.
No, we still don't. Mrs. Lane, part of my job here is to try to find out what could have happened. So I shall want to ask you a lot of questions. Some of them rather personal.
How can that help?
I don't know yet. What we do know is that in all cases of this kind, wherever they occur, there's usually some sort of security problem involved.
Security?
They think, or suspect, or pretend that the person they've arrested is a spy.
Henry, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, we think so, too. That's why I want to ask you the questions, so that we know.
All right. I think it'll help.
Well, now, why did he go to Amaria for his holiday?
Well, he likes the sun. Something we've always done. He goes off somewhere hot, really hot. And I go to Jersey with my sister.
And you don't go at the same time. Isn't that rather strange? I mean, you go to different places at different times.
Well, he gets 3 weeks. I only go for 10 days, usually. I came back last week. It works very well.
And you get on all right together?
Yes. Yes, we have an occasional tiff. Everyone does. We get on very well, all things considered.
What things?
What?
All things considered. What things considered?
Expression.
Yes. You must have had something in mind, surely, or you wouldn't have used the expression.
No. Well, he goes off on these trips. I don't like being alone. So. His job, he's export manager. He goes abroad.
Often?
10, 12 times a year.
For very long?
Oh, 2 days usually, perhaps a week at the most. He always brings me back a present. I don't like him being away.
And where did he go?
Amsterdam, Brussels, Hamburg, places like that.
In Russia?
Not yet. He says there isn't the market.
Oh, was he planning to go?
He said he'd like to someday to see what it was like.
What about you?
Me?
Yes, was he planning to take you with him on this trip to, see what it was like?
You make it sound sinister saying it like that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, was he?
Well, it wasn't that definite.
Did he ask you?
Well, as a matter of fact, he did. We couldn't really afford it, and I didn't really fancy it. It was just talk, you know.
Well, these presents he brings you back are very expensive.
Expensive? No. Well, what do you mean by expensive?
Oh, furs, jewelry.
Oh, so we can't afford things like that.
Yes, you do all right.
Yes, we do.
And why Amaria?
What?
Well, why so far? If you wanted somewhere hot, why not Malta or Italy?
Oh, that's what I asked him. He said he'd never been there before.
Well, it's quite expensive. £112 return at the cheapest.
We can't afford it.
Gilles, I'm sorry to sound so persistent. I'm just trying to find out if there's any chance that he's having any more money than he should have.
Well, he hasn't. We've got a joint account, I know.
Export manager. On 1,500. Did he really manage
Oh,
it?
that's what he calls it. He's not a big firm. He's still quite young.
39. You ever see any of his colleagues?
No, we try to keep office and homes separate. He doesn't bring his work home.
I mean, office parties, that sort of thing.
I said we keep it separate. I don't go to his office. He doesn't bring his office to me.
You'd like to be in Holborn?
Yes, it's a nice house.
It's a flat, isn't
Nice.
it? And when can you leave?
I don't want to leave. I like it there.
I mean, for Amalia. I think you ought to go in.
Well, suppose I could go straight away. It's a bit expensive. You said so yourself.
That cost you anything, will it, Ramsey?
I suppose it is necessary. I mean, not that I don't want to go. It's just that, well, if it all blows over, it'll be a bit silly going all that way. You don't think it's going to blow over, do you?
No.
Why not? Is there something else you haven't told me?
Mrs. Lane, if they're holding him as an agent, it isn't because he's one of ours. If he were, I'd know. That's part of my job. But it must be because they think that he's been spying for somebody else.
Spying for somebody else on Amaria?
Presumably.
Oh, that's against us, isn't it? Henry's not a traitor.
No. I think so, too. That's why I wanted to go out. They'll have to let you see him. They always do. And then he can tell you. And then we'll know.
You mean I'll know?
It's the same thing, isn't it?
When do you want me to go?
I've booked you on a flight this afternoon. Hughes? Hughes will take you to the airport. Then when you get to Tyler, you'll be met by Commander Hastings.
Who's he?
He's our legal advisor at the embassy.
I depend on Hastings. Because Lane was refused permission to see our vice consul in Malta.
Your vice consul will not allow to see Lane. Why did he?
They're splitting hairs, Minister. It's the same thing.
Come now, Lane asked not to see your man. We granted his request.
And refused ours.
You've been the British Embassy's legal advisor here for almost 10 years now, Commander Hastings. You know perfectly well that Lane, and not you, has the right to see who he likes.
I'm sorry, I must insist that you let him see my vice consul immediately.
This is not England, Commander Hastings. You will not insist. I shall insist. But Lane's wishes are respected. He refuses to see any representative of the British diplomatic corps.
I don't believe you.
Don't be ridiculous. You can't arrest a British citizen and not say why.
Well, they have. I did my best.
Yeah, very poor best. I'll speak to the man.
Major of that.
I know who he is. Damn it, I've been consul long enough. Get me police headquarters, please. Where the devil did I put that memo? I don't know. Ah, yes, thank you. Major Rabat. No, hold on. Oh, no, we'll see. I mean, Rabat's almost an old friend.
Friend, sir?
Well, a close acquaintance. I never thought it wise to make friends with the local officials, but he's a very close... And find out when he'll be back in. Arm's length, Cadell. As consul, I found it never pays to be too friendly. It stops you getting involved. It's never any good getting involved. Tomorrow. Get through to Tara. The ambassador, at once.
For a lefty again.
So I gathered.
Perhaps I should have seen Hannah myself. As ambassador, I might have carried more weight.
I think you should, sir, next time.
Who the devil is Lane? A tourist here for 2 weeks and master of all. Surely he can't do anything in 2 weeks there.
A tourist can do anything, sir. The more absurd it is, the more likely he is to do it.
Well, what do we do now?
I checked with London.
But I've done that, Charles.
With my people, I meant, sir.
Well, yes, of course. I'm surprised you haven't done it already.
I have, sir, this morning. I'm expecting them to check back when they've seen his wife.
Oh, I see.
Well, she's on her way, sir. Good. All she's got to do now is swallow the next bit. That's up to Hastings. And that concludes stage 2.
This is really my ears are still blocked up. I don't like signs. I have to when I go to church, I don't. How is Henry?
Well, as far as we know, physically, quite well. But they still haven't allowed us to see him.
Are they treating him properly?
Well, I don't know Martha's prison myself.
You've not been there?
Martha's some 200 miles up the coast. Because I know the place, I know it very well. But I've been trying to fight this battle here from the embassy. Did Mr. Kelly mention anything to you about security?
He told me about Henry being a spy. That's particular.
Tell me about Sandy.
I don't know anyone called Sandy.
You made 3 telephone calls, then.
Not me.
1 on October the 2nd and 2 yesterday, all to the same man, Sandy.
Not me.
The hotel must have charged him to the wrong person. I want to see the consul.
By the time you made the third call, we were interested. You said that you'd meet him on the corner of Santos and Almaria, and of course you tried to.
I want to see the consul.
Is there anything you want to notice, Mrs. Lane? Otherwise, I'll have it sent straight up to your room.
My room?
Yes, you're staying here tonight. We'll put you on the early morning train to Mars.
I think I've got all I need. Do I have to go anywhere this evening?
No, I'd suggest an early bed. You're out this very time. At first, I'd like you to come along and meet the ambassador.
The ambassador?
Yes, Sir Robert Hastings. And then if you'd have dinner with me, I'm afraid we've got some more questions. Here. Now for stage 3, the smoke screen. That's up to Cadell. Get on to Marshall at once, will you, and tell him to go round to the hotel.
You're the manager?
Yes.
I'm from the consulate.
You want to know about Mr. Lane, I suppose?
Previously saw calls he made. Any help you can give us?
It will be of very little use, I'm afraid.
Well, anyway, visitors.
No.
None?
No one at all.
Did he go out much?
Well, he said he was writing a book. Most of the time, he sat in his room working.
We're on holiday. Did you get any phone calls?
Fred, we don't keep a record, I'm sorry.
Well, you do for outgoing calls. In order to challenge them.
Yes, of course we do. The police have already asked the same question.
Just these three. And who on earth is Santos?
Where did you get the film?
I never saw them before in my life.
What do you want me to do? Hand you over to the English?
No, I want to see the consul.
You shall when you tell me about the films and fancy.
If you know so much, why don't you just trace the number those telephone calls were made to?
But we did, Mr. Lane. 3 calls to a public telephone, presumably sent on each of them.
I'm not a spy. Stop treating me like one.
Indeed, you're not. You're a prisoner.
And as such, he has the right to legal representation.
Which he'll get. At need, in view of the charges.
See. Very well, what are they?
Fine.
Against Amaria? Huh. Now you're talking nonsense.
Nonsense? Are you British so arrogant as to believe that only the great powers are worth spying on? The great powers, that is, and Great Britain.
Oh, well, of course you have your secrets. Every country has its secrets. But a tourist here for 2 weeks spying on Amalia.
We know he's a spy. We want to know who he's been spying.
And who is he supposed to have been spying on?
You.
Ah.
When we arrested him, he had 4 films with him. Photographs of documents which looked to us like secret information on rocket mechanisms. He was trying to meet someone, presumably, to pass these films over.
It looked to you, presumably. Frankly, I don't believe it. But if it is true, hand him over to us and we'll put him in prison for so long that any secrets he has got, yours or ours, will be out of date by the time he gets out.
Well, we are certain he has committed no crimes against the laws of this country. That is what I shall probably.
Probably.
Yes.
It is what you certainly do.
I think it is a course of action which becomes less likely the more I talk to you, Commander Hastings.
You'll have no alternative.
No? We shall see. And now, I just ask you to let me get on with my work.
And what am I to tell my ambassador?
Tell him what you like.
Then you think he'll cooperate?
I think he'll do exactly what I want.
Good. Things should be easier now.
Easier, you say? I've never in all my years in the diplomatic service met with such wanton, such arrogant obstruction.
That was difficult.
What, Rabat kept me waiting nearly an hour. Me, the consul.
What about Mrs. Lane?
Oh, refused to let me see Lane, but said she could. Oh, when did she arrive?
She's in China now. Hastings is sending her up here tomorrow.
You coming with her?
I don't know.
Well, you might ring the embassy for me and find out. If he does, I should want to see him at once.
I want to see the consul.
You will in time. It is in any case a very unusual request. And now be reasonable. You've been called to tell me what I want to know. We could hand you over to the British or ship you back to England. There won't be a choice then, just a car at the airport and prison, probably for life.
I'm not a spy.
And you're a courier.
No.
And not a very efficient one. You behaved like a fool or you'd never have been caught. You're still behaving like a fool. Tell me where I can find Santi or go back to England.
Santi isn't important.
Nor are you. You're the first and smallest link in a chain. The weakest and least important. Santi is the next. He may lead us to someone who is important.
I don't know where he is.
There must have been another meeting arranged in case the first one went wrong. Tell me about that.
Why should I?
Because you have no alternative. You're a little pawn in a big game. Santi didn't get caught. Why? How do you think we got onto you? Someone telephoned. Perhaps it was Santi. Perhaps they wanted to betray you. And yet you have loyalties to this man that you've never even met. You must have loyalties, Mr. Lane. Have them only to yourself.
What do I have to do?
Tell me how to find Santi, and then you can see the consul.
Very well.
What does he look like?
I don't know. I never saw him.
How was he going to identify himself?
I had to hold the carrier bag. He was going to approach me.
And if anything went wrong?
We were going to meet again in a bar, the Ferrari at the harbour, tomorrow morning. But you'll never find him.
Oh, we may. You may not have told the truth. You may be double-crossing us. He may have double-crossed you. But cross or double-cross, Mr. Lane, it is the same thing. We're all nailed to it. There's no escape. Now, at what time was he going to meet you?
Do I have an early start?
Yes. We want to get you up to Master as quickly as possible. We're putting you on the 6:30 plane.
You're not coming with me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you'll be met by our vice consul there. I expect I'll come up later in the day. You're very fond of your husband, aren't you?
Well, of course.
And what I have to say isn't going to be easy for you to believe. Mrs. Lane, your husband is a spy.
But he can't be. Well, Mr. Kelly said in London he didn't think so either.
And I'm afraid Kelly wasn't being quite honest. He didn't want to worry you. We know he's a spy. Has been for over 2 years.
I'd have known.
Would you? We only found out recently.
He's my husband.
He was a very good spy.
What has he got to spy on? Export manager in a little firm. He didn't have any secrets.
No, he was a go-between. Someone apparently beyond suspicion, apparently completely trustworthy. That's very important to them.
Who's them?
Them is anyone that isn't us. Usually the Russians, but it could be the Americans at Suez, the Gaul at Brussels. Anyone that isn't us.
Why should they want to use Henry? He's not a traitor.
You like cigarettes?
No.
There's going to be quite a row when we get him back. New spy sensation, questions in the house, another commission.
Henry?
Have you anything to say?
Well, I thought I was staying here.
I meant in London.
Yes, it has.
But during the trial, it might be a good idea to stay with someone, relatives or friends, to keep the press away.
No.
Perhaps your sister?
But she lives in Jersey.
Well,
It's not going to be like that, is it?
inevitably, if he goes back.
How long would he get?
Well, I don't know. He might get only 15 years.
15 years.
He might get 30. It depends on the judge.
30.
If he goes back.
You're certain? You're certain he's what you said?
Well, of course, he might be acquitted, but I very much doubt it.
You said so now, if he goes back. What did you mean, if?
He doesn't have to.
Why not?
Well, when they let him go, and they will quite
Let
soon,
him go. Who?
the police here, they can't hold him much longer. He hasn't committed any crime in Amaria. When they let him go, we could let him go too.
I don't understand.
But Henry's not important anymore. We don't want another trial, a new sensation. Under certain circumstances, we could let him go.
What circumstances?
Well, you like living in Holborn.
Oh, it's all right, but what's that got to do with it?
Would you like to live abroad?
I don't understand what you're getting at.
To be together?
Live abroad? Where?
Anywhere they chose.
They?
Here, probably Moscow at first. We could go together.
Go over to them?
Yes.
You can't be serious.
But I am. Send him back, we have another row. Henry goes to prison, you get hurt. What good does that do anyway?
You don't care about us. You just want to get out of trouble, that's it, isn't it?
No, we're not completely heartless, Mrs. Lane. Of course we care about you. But if you both go over, we kill 3 birds with 1 stone. You escape the loneliness and the humiliation. Henry escapes prison, and we escape the scandal. A not very significant spy quietly defects to the Russians. It happens all the time.
Not very significant. And it wouldn't be 15 years. It wouldn't be that important, would it?
A traitor?
He's not a traitor.
Try to understand, Mrs. Lane, that he is a spy, and that makes him a traitor. He's not the kind of spy we want to make a fuss about. Henry's finished now, and we don't want to crucify him or you.
You really mean it? You'd let him go if he went to Russia?
Yes.
What do I have to do?
Well, when you see him, tell him. Tell him that all he has to do is to go to the British consulate, and we'll arrange for him to go over. He will be in Russia in 2 days. He's going to need you.
All right.
No more questions.
Can I see him now? The Russian consul. Yes, but later. First I must find Santi. May I have your papers, please? Drive off, please.
Lane, I believe you wanted to see me.
You know who I am.
I know your name.
I mean who I am.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
You are the Russian consul.
No, but I am from the Russian consulate, though.
Then you must have heard of me.
Very well, I must have heard of you. Why?
Because I work for you.
For me?
For your people.
Oh, yes.
And I want to go over.
Over what?
I want you to give me a political asylum and help me to defect.
You mean you want to live in Russia?
Yes, I want to defect.
If you want to live in Russia, Mr. Lane, all you have to do is get a visa when you go back to England. There is a through train from the Hook of Holland all the way to Moscow.
Don't you understand? I want to go over from here, now.
Then hadn't you better try to get out of prison? Go and see your consul and then come back and talk to us again.
Listen, I am an agent working for British intelligence. I've been working for DI6 for 10 years and for your people for 2. I came over here to deliver some film to one of your couriers, and now I've been caught. I want you to help me to go to Russia.
Mr. Lane, you could not have been meeting one of our couriers here, because I know all of our couriers here. Whoever you have been double-crossing, you haven't been double-crossing them to us.
Doesn't Santi mean anything to you?
Santi?
The man I was supposed to meet.
I know no one of that name.
Then I suggest you return to your consulate and find someone who does. Don't pretend you don't have security men in your consulate. We all do. Third secretaries, filing clerks, vice consuls, call them what you like. There's always someone. Go back and find out who yours is and ask him. Your Excellency, you do me too much honor.
Minister.
Cigarette.
No, thank you.
Thank you. The question of Mr. Lane.
Yes.
I have decided what to do.
I'm very glad to hear.
I'm going to release him this afternoon.
Release him, but you can't command a spy.
He's broken no law of our country, so I intend to release him.
Really, Minister, this is too much. You have arrested him for spying.
Against my country. No, I know he wasn't.
But you can't just let him go. We want to get him back to England and try him there.
Of course you do.
Then will you please detain him until I can get police officers out here to take him back?
When I receive a request to have him extradited, I shall promise to do my utmost to help you.
You have my request now.
In writing, through the Foreign Office, in the usual way.
But that may take 2 days. He could be in Bulgaria in 2 hours.
Red tape, bureaucracy, terrible. I suffer from it myself. If you're lucky, you'll make it through by tomorrow.
Minister, this is most unusual. We've always received the fullest cooperation from you in the past. Why are you doing this?
Look where we are, balanced on the edge between east and west. Half an hour before you came, the Russian ambassador left here. It was a courtesy call, but it was nicely timed. We're a small nation. We need allies.
You're scarcely improving your relations with us.
We shan't have offended you. Not badly. Nor shall we have offended them. And they're nearer than you. Our next government may prefer them. It is a form of insurance. When 2 great powers put pressure on a little nation, safest to step out of the way.
You speak as if there was a war going on.
Isn't there?
What happened to Santis? He left. Why did this happen? Stupidity or bad luck? I think bad luck. Lane's no fool. And Santis didn't get caught. I can't understand the police. Why didn't they just hand Lane over to the British? Because they want something. Because they are looking for someone. Because they are afraid. Who? For that we shall have to wait and see. And Mrs. Lane should be arriving now. Would it look better, both of them together? If we take either. Yes, I know. Quite safe.
Tim,
No, not yet. I'm taking you straight to police headquarters. You can see him as soon as you get there.
what are we going to do?
We shan't know that for some time, yes.
You don't seem to know very much, do you? Either that or you know more than you're prepared to say. I can't make you lot out. Each one of you, I see, tells me an entirely different story.
Not a different story, Mrs. Lane. Just a different view.
I don't know. Half of it seems to be lies. After a while, I start trusting people. No need. You ought to be so shifty.
But it's quite a shifty business, Mrs. Lane.
Why is he doing this, Charles? You told me he'd been very reasonable.
Well, London to move on the extradition immediately, but you know how long that'll take. Court orders and Lord knows what. I'm going up to Martha at once, see if I can help up there.
Will it do any good my seeing the minister again?
I doubt it. He's made up his mind. But it'll keep the pressure up.
Well, I'll see him this afternoon. Say the papers are on the way.
Yes, if you don't mind, sir, I've got a plane to catch.
Yes, of course. I don't understand. What's the minister going to do?
They promised you a half an hour, Mrs. Lane.
Will I?
Will you come with me now, Mrs. Lane?
Will I be allowed to see him alone?
Poor bloody woman. I shall return in half an hour.
All right. All right. I got caught, darling, that's all. But it's going to be all right now.
It's true what you said, don't you? It's very true.
Yes, it's true.
It can't be. No.
Wasn't anything to know. They're standing about on the street corners waiting for people. There wasn't anything I could have told you. Come see that.
What are you going to do?
I'm going over.
No, Henry, you can't. You've got to go back to England.
Go back. To 40 years in prison?
It wouldn't be 40 years. They said you weren't important.
What they say?
Yes.
Don't you understand what I've been doing, who I am? They told you I wasn't important.
But you weren't.
2 years they've wanted me, not known where to look, not known who. When they cleaned up Lonsdale, they knew they'd missed someone. They knew they hadn't got them all. And do you know who they'd missed? Me.
They said you didn't matter, that you hadn't done anything serious.
They would, wouldn't they? What were they going to do with me? Let me go?
Yes, Henry, that's what they said. They'd let you go. They told me to tell you that. They said, we'll arrange it. Tell him to come to us, and we'll arrange it.
After the border, is that it? Plane to London and 40 years in prison, that's what they'd arrange.
You can't go over to them. You've got to come back. It won't be long. They said it would be.
They were lying. Yes, 40 years, I've always known that.
Then why did you do it?
To do something. To be something. To help the struggle.
What struggle?
You're nothing. You've nothing to struggle for. You don't even see that there's a war. And then one day you realize and you do something. I did.
War. There's peace.
We're the traitors. I thought sitting doing nothing, letting it happen. So one day I offered to help. They waited a bit and then they said yes.
It's not making sense.
They said I was special. You see, you can buy anyone. But I wasn't getting paid. I was doing it to help.
Man, this is mad.
I'd be mad to go back, wouldn't I? For 40 years in prison. No. I'm going over.
And you're going alone. I'm not going with you. You go. But you go by yourself, without me.
It'll be without you. Either way, then, won't it? Or you'll come and see me in prison. Every few months, until you get tired of coming. And I need you. I still love you.
What do you want me to do?
Straight to your hotel and telephone the Russian consul. Ask for a man called Coffee.
We're merely going to release him and then let him do what he wants.
We know what he wants.
Yes, but not why, not yet. When I know that, we shall make up our minds.
I've already made up mine.
Which is why you're doing your job and I'm doing mine.
You're very suspicious. Don't you trust anyone?
No, not in this business. That's why it works, why it exists, why there is no war.
It'll make a sensation then coming over to us. It'll be like the U2 case all over again.
Which is precisely what they may want. To cause a sensation. To make us believe in him.
Then we watch him.
Then we try to watch him.
Sincere man, he may work well.
And be given a responsible job. People may learn to trust him. That is when he becomes dangerous.
You think Lane is alive?
I think he might be alive. And if the sensation is big enough, the scandal loud enough, at home they may believe it. So if the British make it big, loud, a scandal, if they publish the news first, we can be sure he's a lie and deal with him. So we shall take them. Both of them.
And that's fine.
Yes. In 2 hours, he will be released.
And you're going to let him walk out just like that.
A free man. Why not? He's done nothing against the laws of this country.
Can I see him?
I shall ask him again. I don't think agree.
Tell me, Major Rabat, when you arrested him, what have you done?
Nothing. There was a telephone call.
So you went on to arrest him because there was a telephone call.
Not only that, we watch a lot of people. We need to. You use this city balanced on the edge of the Iron Curtain for your meetings, your dirty work. You and them. So we watch anyone who behaves suspiciously. Sits in his hotel bedroom, doesn't go out, does not take photographs of our beautiful city. We watched Mr. Lane. And then came the telephone call.
Which means that someone shot him. Gave him away.
Presumably. Who? Whoever knew what he was doing here. Perhaps his contact, the elusive Santi. Perhaps you.
It's all right.
How do I go?
We are going to release you.
When?
I don't know yet. Very soon. There will be a car outside. You will ignore everyone except us. You will walk straight to the car, and then we shall drive you to the consulate.
Thank you.
To us, loyalty is very important. Something to be rewarded. Now we are rewarding you.
But you still don't really believe me.
I believe you. I know that what you have told me is true. I know that you are a British counter-espionage agent and that you have been helping us for 2 years. What I do not know is why. I believe you. I do not entirely believe in you.
wait for the double cross.
Alone. I haven't got anyone to ask. I don't know who this is like. Someone knows me.
Why don't you try and trust him?
Because all I had from you lot are lies. You don't know what the truth is anymore. One man tells me one thing, someone else tells me another. And you say, well, let him go. Then you say, get off like this. And you tell me, I don't know what to do.
Look, all we want you to do is to talk to him, bring him to us, and reassure him that we'll help him over the
Okay.
What did you say?
They can put him inside.
Well, we couldn't do that if we weren't in England.
No, who to ask?
Would you like to talk to Mr. Leslie? He's the constable.
And why should I trust him any more than the rest of you?
Very good of you to have come all this way. And I'm sure that we could have handled the situation.
I'm sure you could. He's to be extradited. Well, they're going to release him for the time being, and we shall try and keep him here in the consulate. As soon as the necessary papers come through, we'll send him home.
How do we persuade him to stay here? Lock him in a cellar, I suppose.
And if the worst comes to the worst, just that. Oh, yes, the man is a spy. We can't have him roaming the streets. He might roam into the Russian consulate, and then what would happen?
How do we persuade him to come here in the first place?
Well, first you talk to his wife, try to reassure her. Second, Cadell is with Lane now, talking sense to him, I hope.
So that's it. Yes, sir. We've been very lucky.
2 years living with this.
You make it good.
It'll help marry him, too.
People like you shouldn't be married.
That.
There's nothing left. Nothing I can do. All right. I'll see you then. As you come out. They'll probably give you the Red Star. You'll be able to travel free on the Moscow Sea.
Yes? Mrs. Lane. Sure. Yes, at once. Oh, Mrs. Lane, come in.
My husband told me to come here. His telephone.
I know. I've been expecting you.
I wasn't going to.
But now you've made up your mind?
Yes.
So you can relax.
Is Henry coming here?
He should be on his way already. Ready?
Just walk out like that?
Just walk out.
And then?
You put your head into whichever you see free.
Why isn't he here yet?
He'll be here soon, Mrs. Lane.
Don't think anything's gone wrong, do you?
Nothing can go wrong now. You're in safe hands.
And then?
We put you on an aeroplane at 4:30 this afternoon, and in 2 hours you'll be sitting in front of the fire.
The fire?
Oh, yes. It's much colder there at this time of the year. Well, now for the last stage, stage 4, the zone. Rather him than me. One day it might be you.
The kind of thing I'd volunteer for.
No one volunteers for a thing like this. You start a job, it leads somewhere, you go on with it.
You could have said no.
Could he? When you're born, you know you're going to die. What he's doing is like death. It just happens to you.
Like death, it goes on happening.
Doesn't death?
Wasn't anyone to ask.
You'll be all right.
With his manners. He didn't speak the language.
It's better than prison.
I wouldn't have been in prison. Do you think there isn't a better? That's what people say.
It don't matter. It don't matter anymore.
Why did you do it? Why did you do it?
What about her?
She'll be all right after a while.
I mean, she's been given a different story.
No. Just the less complete one. None of them have the whole story. The weak link is that you dropped him. That telephone call to a bat.
The weak link is her story. But we wanted her.
Would you believe that an honest offer under the circumstances? If she believed it, she'd be here now. And what she believes, they will, excuse me. Hastings?
A lot of help you've been, Hastings, if you don't mind my saying so. Well, we'll make you look idiot while he goes off under our noses.
Well, you have to play these things by ear, Mr. Letty. It takes experience knowing which way the cat is going to jump.
Wild, incompetent guessing, played by ear. Make a success to start up for the Hastings. I suppose you'll go to the airport now to see them off.
Yes, I think they would expect it.
I'm surprised you didn't go yourself.
They'll be all right.
Oh, they'll be there. But there won't be any trouble. They're just going to keep them off. It's going to be published.
What? How do you know?
Mostly think it will be useful. Tomorrow. It will be in a foreign paper tomorrow.
The fool send me watch Lane for the rest of his life.
Might not be useful.
There might not be a war.
Was our decision?
Politics and everything else should be kept out of the hands of politicians.
It is not our decision.
Noise living. But we do that too. They'll publish tomorrow, I should think. Foreign newspaper. That's where this kind of news usually breaks. The day after, it'll be in every paper in England.
And if they do keep quiet?
Kelly will blow it. An accidental leak. Question in the House, followed by a flaming great row.
Then it's up to him.
But he'll be there. He may have to wait 20 years. He may never be of any use at all. But we'll have another one there.
There they go. Good luck.
Amen to that.